Well, guys, we finally did it. We finally made it through the Thunderdome era, the PC era, pandemic era, whatever you want to call it. We finally made it. Fans will be back with WWE. AEW already started their travels, so we finally made it through, man. Finally, we're going to get some type of normalcy when it comes to professional wrestling. We did it, man. We finally made it. The Thunderdome era is over. We made it. It's so hard to say goodbye to Thunderdome. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with your Monday Night Raw review, the last Raw of the Thunderdome era. We made it, man. We made it. If you're new to the channel, man, go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments in the comment section. Ring the notification bell. Hit me up on Twitter. All those cool things, man. And who would have thought that with this episode of Monday Night Raw being the last Raw of the Thunderdome era, the main thing people are talking about is Brock Lesnar's hair. Look at that thing, man. Look, Brock Lesnar's out here living his best life, looking like a evolved Buddy Murphy. But as far as Monday Night Raw goes, was it the best show? It wasn't bad. It wasn't anything overly offensive. It didn't make me mad. I wasn't all that bored. Did it feel like the last Raw of the Thunderdome? Nah. Did it even feel like the go-home Raw for Money in the Bank, which is this Sunday coming up? No. To an extent. It didn't until you got to the main event angle, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I mean, even though you did have Drew McIntyre out here smashing up motorcycles and telling stories, Jinder Mahal, destroying swords, which wasn't really the official sword. It was a duplicate sword or whatever. I don't know, but yeah. But the show kicked off with a match between Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods, and to the surprise of everyone, Xavier Woods got the win over Bobby Lashley. Like, who saw that coming? Like, I honestly thought that it will be like a 2-minute squash match. Bobby Lashley would just come out and just destroy Xavier Woods, but that really wasn't the case. Xavier Woods got the pin with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up, which there was a whole bunch of roll-ups on this episode of Raw. Like, it was so many roll-ups. It would make Simon Miller grow his hair out and pull it all out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would just be bald all over again. But a lot of roll-ups on Raw. Xavier Woods got the roll-up on Bobby Lashley, which kind of gave us the story of the show, which was Bobby Lashley just kind of just being out of it. Like, he's surprised that he lost to Xavier Woods. He leaves, and then it's like, okay, so MVP's like, all right, so Bobby Lashley left. He took a little time off, but he's going to be back for the main event. He's going to be back for the VIP lounge. And of course, he did come back for the VIP lounge, and he had MVP in the middle of the ring with the ladies, the Lashley's ladies, and they're trying to hype Bobby Lashley up. They're trying to make him feel better. MVP's like, come on out, Bobby, come out, man, come out, Bobby, the almighty Bobby Lashley, come on out. And when Bobby Lashley came out, he looked like that's a dejected, depressed, man. Like, he just lost all of his life savings. Like, his wife just divorced him when she took the kids. Like, he just lost his car. He kind of looked like depressed Corbin, except his hairline is still intact. Like, Bobby Lashley doesn't even have a hairline, but if he did, his hairline would probably look way better than Baron Corbin's. But that's besides the point. Bobby Lashley says, he tells all the women to get out of the ring. He just wants to talk to MVP. And Bobby Lashley, he's just upset because he had the opportunity to think about what Kofi said about how Lashley's been soft, especially when it comes to having all the women around, the champagne, the nice suits, and it's caused him to lose his edge. So Lashley ends up cutting this bomb promo, and Lashley isn't really much of a talker, but this was probably one of the best promos Lashley has ever cut, ever. Pretty much saying that how this Sunday at Money in the Bank, he's gonna straight up murder Kofi Kingston. He's gonna put him in a box. Yeah, pretty much saying he's pretty much gonna murder this man. And I feel bad for Kofi because I don't see him winning the WWE Championship. I always be so surprised. And even during this promo, I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous that Bobby Lashley was going to do something like attack MVP, put him in the hurt lock, tell him he didn't need him anymore, like he was just going to do it on his own. I was a little nervous because he already had the Hurt Business breakup. I'm guessing Bobby Lashley is getting rid of the women. There won't be any more women going forward. And I was hoping and praying that it wouldn't be the end of the relationship that Bobby Lashley and MVP have, because it's probably one of the best things going on Raw. And it doesn't look like that's the way it's going yet. I don't know. Maybe that's something further down the line. I hope not. The combination of MVP and Lashley has been pretty much untouchable. They don't miss. So I'll be really disappointed if WWE decided to break up MVP and Lashley. And like I said, this was one of the best things on Raw. You also had what should have been the main event match between Ricochet and John Morrison. This was a Falls Count Anywhere match. Now, this is the third match they've had in the past 3 weeks, and this was the best match I think that they had. It was a whole lot of fun. To me, it should have been the main event, but whatever, it is what it is. Before Ricochet came out, he was in the back talking to Riddle, and Riddle was just being Riddle, talking about Riddle stuff. And then you had Morrison and Miz pull up, and they spray both these dudes with the dripstick, and I think Miz ran over Riddle's injured foot with his wheelchair, I think. So you have the match happen, and this was a damn good match. Like, you had a whole bunch of high spots from Ricochet, John Morrison doing his thing. There was even one spot where Morrison was on the outside and he was hiding behind Miz, and Ricochet did a tope, plancha, whatever, flip-de-doo-dah, and over the wheelchair and landed on Morrison. That was a pretty cool spot. Even during the match, you had Riddle come out and even up the odds. This stoner degenerate attacked a crippled man in the Miz. He had Miz like laying on his back in the wheelchair, so he couldn't really be a factor in the match. And then he started spraying him with the dripstick, and then you had Ricochet set Morrison up on the ladder that he had set him on the outside, and then do this stupid, crazy, insane splash from the top rope through the ladder on the outside. Ricochet gets the win. Again, this should have been the main event. The main event match they actually did have was between Rhea Ripley and Natalya. And I know I keep hammering this point home, but it doesn't make sense to me, and I'm gonna keep saying it because it doesn't make sense. Who am I supposed to cheer for? I'm thinking it's supposed to be Rhea, but she's acting like a heel. And then Natalya, I don't know if she's a heel or face either. So you have these two people who are kind of in between. Like, you don't know if you're supposed to boo them or cheer them. They're having a match. Rhea Ripley wins, and then after the match, another heel who I know is pretty much a heel, and Charlotte attacks Rhea Ripley after the match, goes after the leg, does the figure four, pretty much damaging Rhea Ripley's leg for the match at Money in the Bank. But again, man, I don't know who am I supposed to cheer for? Is it supposed to be Rhea? Is it supposed to be Charlotte? Is it supposed to be Natalya? Is it the Lily doll? Who am I supposed to cheer for? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Something else that had me just looking like, yo, what is going on? So you have Alexa's Playhouse, and she's just rambling and talking about whatever, and then Eva Marie and Doudrop show up, and it's looking like not Eva Marie, but Alexa Bliss and Doudrop are cool. And Eva Marie's like, what are you doing? I don't want to be here. This sucks. This whole setup sucks. And she's pretty much downplaying the Playhouse. And that was a pretty pointless segment. There was no reason for that to be on the show. And this was leading into the Fatal 4-Way match between Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Asuka, and Nikki Cross. Oh, I'm sorry, Nikki, almost a superhero. I'm not a superhero. Whatever. And this whole thing with Nikki Cross doesn't make sense to me. So you have this grown woman dressing up like a superhero. Everyone's acknowledging the fact that she is a superhero. She's looking like a superhero. She's dressed like a superhero. But she's like, no, I know I look like a superhero, but I'm not. I'm almost a superhero. And it's like, you honestly have this grown woman dressed up like a superhero explaining the fact that she's not a superhero, even though she is dressed up like a superhero. This doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever. And real quick side note. Naomi, so this whole thing with Jimmy Uso and his DUI, and then you have people on social media blaming Naomi, that makes absolutely no sense. Jimmy Uso is a grown man. He is responsible for his own self. His decisions, his actions have consequences. He did this on his own. Why are people blaming Naomi? I don't know. But this caused Naomi to deactivate her Instagram, her Twitter, and it's just a bad look on wrestling fans, because if people on the outside look in on this, they don't see it as Smarks doing this or anti-Smarks, or they see it as wrestling fans as a whole, and this makes all wrestling fans look bad. Like, this isn't a good look. Like, you have people sending death threats to JR because he made a mistake. You have people blaming Jim Cornette for a fan running in. Like, this whole thing makes no sense. Like, this isn't a good look for wrestling fans as a whole. Y'all need to chill out. Like, people who are doing this stuff, it's not a good look. Just stop, man. It's not a good look. And another thing that's not a good look is this whole women's division on Monday Night Raw. Like, on SmackDown, the women's division looks like it's trying to reshape and reform, and like it's trying to be about something. On Raw, you have superheroes that aren't really superheroes. You have Eva Marie, and I like Eva Marie because she's a pretty decent heel. She's doing a good job of getting herself over. But then you have this whole Doudrop thing, and then you have Alexa Bliss with her superpowers, that she gets more powers every week. And then you have the superhero BS, and then not Alexa Bliss, but Nikki Cross wins. Even during the match, you had Eva Marie and Doudrop come out, and they get into it with Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss yells at Eva Marie. Doudrop attacks Alexa Bliss. Those are over the barricade, but somehow, some way, she disappears. So now it's a triple threat match. And then, like I said, Nikki Cross wins. She pins Asuka. Asuka looks upset. Naomi looks upset. Nikki Cross looks crazy, and this whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the whole women division on Raw is just absolute trash. And then, for whatever reason, Natalya's in the women's Money in the Bank match. Why? I don't know. They just announced it on social media. She's just in the match now. And then, I don't know. Tamina and Natalya have a backstage segment with Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, and then they argue, and then that was it. So, like I said, this whole episode of Raw didn't really feel like much of a go-home show at all. The interesting things were the Ricochet, John Morrison match, everything going on with Lashley and Kofi Kingston, and the New Day. And then out of nowhere, you had Sheamus going up against Humberto Carrillo. Humberto Carrillo was, of course, the one who broke Sheamus's face, so he was out for a few weeks. And Adam Pearce told Sheamus that he has to defend his title tonight or on this episode of Raw, or if not, there'll be consequences. So before the match even starts, in the backstage area, you have Sheamus attack Humberto Carrillo, and it's looking like he can't compete, but he competes anyway. And then Sheamus beats him in like 17 seconds, hits him with the bro kick. Humberto can't even compete. And then you have Sheamus looking like he's gonna break Humberto's face, like an eye for an eye type deal. And then you have Damian Priest come out and make the save. And I will say that I am kind of intrigued with the whole Damian Priest Sheamus dynamic. I wouldn't mind seeing them going up against each other for the United States Championship. That would be pretty cool. And lastly, you have the Raw Tag Team the Raw Tag Team Champions in AJ Styles and Almost going up against the Viking Raiders. That's going to be at Money in the Bank. So on this episode of Raw, you had a one-on-one match between AJ Styles and I think either Ivar or Eric. I get the two confused. And then you had Almost going up against whichever one wasn't going up against AJ Styles. I get the two names confused. Sorry. Not sorry. So AJ Styles loses and with a surprise roll up. And then you have Almost win his match, and it's looking like, oh, who's gonna win? Because you had AJ lose his match, but you had Almost win his. So who's gonna win between the Viking Raiders and AJ Styles and Almost at Money in the Bank? I don't know. I'll probably do a predictions video later in the week. I think I'm gonna have something special planned. It's gonna be, I think I'm gonna do like a reaction review, reaction predictions video. Maybe got something special cooked up. But yeah, for the last episode of Raw in the Thunderdome, and as well as it being the go home Raw for Money in the Bank, it didn't really get me all that excited for the show. I mean, you do have the Money in the Bank ladder match. You do have the match between Kofi and Bobby Lashley, and of course you have the match between Roman Reigns and Edge. Other than that, I really couldn't care anything about Money in the Bank. I really couldn't care anything about Monday Night Raw tonight. It had a few high spots, but nothing to really get too excited about. But those are my thoughts, man. Let me know what you guys think about this episode of Raw. Also, are you sad to see the Thunderdome go? Are you excited to see fans coming back? What were some of your favorite moments in the Thunderdome? What were some of your least favorite moments in the Thunderdome? Let me know in the comment section below, man. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit me up on Twitter. You already know the vibes, man. I'm out. You guys take care. Be easy. Peace.